Hey, good morning to everybody. Today we're working in this 2016 Nissan X-Trail Hybrid HT32, which is giving us a huge problem. The vehicle is not starting today. So the customer brought the vehicle in a record. So we are going to have to check this. So if you want to diagnose and check what is going on with this vehicle, let's find out together. Alright, so stay tuned and we will continue then. Alright, so we have a big issue now. Before we start the diagnostic on this vehicle, the 12-volt battery is a little discharged, and we hooked up the scan tool, and the high voltage battery, it's completely drained. It's about 3.5%. So this is gonna take us a little long. I'm gonna have to take out the battery and fully charge it, and then that is where we will actually gonna start to diagnosing this SUV. So let me just do what I gotta do and we'll continue. All right, stay tuned. All right, so we continue over here. We already took apart the upper cover, so we have the cells completely discovered. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hook up our charger directly into the inlet to the junction block in this high voltage battery, because our state of charge apparently is completely drained. So the battery is saying that we have about 4% of state of charge, so that is really bad. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna charge it, put it back, install it on the vehicle, and we'll continue to see what's going on. All right, stay tuned. Hey, so we're still working on this 2017 Nissan X-Trail Hybrid. So we already took up the upper cover, this cover, the battery. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna connect the charger into the main cables of the junction block, because apparently I hook up the scan tool, and the scan tool is saying that we have average about 3% of state of charge. So that is really bad. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna fully charge, make sure all connections are fine. But I already did a visual inspection. I don't see anything weird. But we're gonna charge it and start making the diagnostics. Right? So we'll continue. All right. So the thing is, we are taking the battery completely apart to do a visual inspection, and guess what? I found something a little suspicious over here. Now look at these arcs, burning arcs between some of the modules, like if the battery current just try to reach out. It's happening in some of them. Of course, always going to be the negative side. See? Anyway, I'm forced to check all of them. So we have the self-balancing system, and we have a little corrosion in the board, but so far continuity. But I'm sadly gonna have to check all of these, make sure everything's fine. But so far the measurements are good. Although in this one, I'm still having the same issue than the other one. See, the current like wants to jump out. Well, still have a lot to do over here. So we'll continue then. Now we want to clear out the following debate. We are working on this 2016 Nissan X-Trail Hybrid. So the main question is, does this battery require servicing? Now if we take a deep look in on the battery stacks, which comes included with their own self-management system, can you see all this carbon build for burning out? Besides that, the ventilation of these batteries, I don't know why, but it's a little limited. Although this was extremely dirty, and it still is. I already cleaned it, but I gotta go deep in on it. But then as you can see, probably not seeing with your own eyes, but these cells inside, they get pretty dirty and especially sticky when you're using shiny silicone materials, and all gets stuck inside. It accumulates a lot of dirt. So what we're doing here is just fully servicing this high voltage battery from the X-Trail, and of course we're gonna have to recharge it because it's discharged. But I'm seeing a lot of carbon bill on the battery size. It's interesting, eh? So yes, now if you ask me from the professional point of view, these batteries do require service every certain often. I'm not gonna say you're gonna do that every 3 months, every 6 months, but yes, probably once a year, every 2 years. That will pretty much depend. So, what is your opinion about it? Leave it in the comments. All right, we'll continue. Okay, so we're continuing over here working on the battery stack. So we took them completely apart, and we are going to give it a high pressure air blowing inside the cells because they're like sticky as hell. A lot of dust. Now, of course, you cannot appreciate that pretty much from the camera point of view, but believe me when I tell you, they're dusty as it gets. So what we're gonna do is properly clean them and then assemble back and start recharging, see what's going on. But one of the things that has me real concerned are those burning flashes coming up some of the cells, and I really don't like that. But anyway, I gotta do what I gotta do first. So we will continue then. Stay tuned. Right now that these cell stacks are located in its place, I'm gonna have to connect it to the charging and give it a complete collective charge in order to then finish to assemble, put it on the vehicle, and do the proper inspection. So we will continue then. Stay put. Now, one little debate we want to clear out before we continue. So, as if you get to read the owner's manual, it doesn't say anything about the cooling system of the high voltage battery. It actually says absolutely nothing. But indeed, this compartment in time has become a very hostile environment for the high voltage battery itself, and then of course for the cooling system. Now, as you can appreciate, the air has been sucked to this duct ventilation, all right, absorbed by the cooling fan over here, and then of course it really gets affected with hair, with debris and dust, and of course that takes away pretty much a lot of efficiency during the cooling system of the high voltage battery. Now, I've seen, I don't know how many guys saying that don't even touch the high voltage system, probably because they don't know, but this is indeed a serviceable compartment that should be, right, done some type of maintenance every certain often. And that is one of my biggest focus on this channel, to educate users and customers of whatever, if you're using any type of hybrid or electric vehicle that uses air cooled system, I strongly recommend get some advice about how to properly take care of your hybrid system. But in the meantime, I got to take this out and fully clean all the environment, and then we'll continue then. All right, so we continue over here, and in the meantime, while the battery is being charged, we're gonna service the whole rear compartment where the battery rests. We're gonna take out the cooling fan to clean it up. And believe me when I tell you, this is not looking good so far. See what I tell you? It doesn't matter your type of battery. If your battery is air cooled, she's always gonna be an inside cabin air sucker. Meaning that all the dirt is gonna be plugged into the fan. Now this fan blows inside the battery indeed. However, look how much dirt is. So we're gonna take it out. We're gonna fully clean it. We're gonna service all this compartment, and well, we will continue then. Well then, 24 hours later, the battery is still charging, and we are about 196 volt. Still has like 50 more to go. So we're taking it a very, very slow, low current inject into the battery, right? We don't want it overheated. But in the meantime, we're going to clean the high voltage battery cooling fan, which is not a big deal, but in fact, it's really dirty. That's not a big deal to dismantle it. Just take these 3 screws out, and that's it. We will have full access to the blade, which this is one of the most important parts in order to keep your battery cool. And then clean this, and that's it. So we'll continue then. All right, we just finished the clean. Now, as you can see, this is as good as new. All right, absolutely no debris. It had a lot of hair here in this fence. And just one quick review I wanted to show you. You got to remember that the high voltage battery cooling fan, usually they are brushless DC motors, okay, which you can some of them are very easy to dismantle, like this one for example. We have the board with all the connections. All right, just make sure that when you taking this apart, focus on the blades, because basically this is the other housing and all those stuff. That's something very easy. Okay, so we're gonna take it back, assemble back again, and then we will continue. All right, now that the battery is in there, the cooling fan is done, all those stuff, we're gonna start servicing these compartments. So what I'm gonna do is just high pressure air and blow out all the debris and all the dirt inside all this mess. So this has to be as good as new. So then we will continue then. Stay put. All right, so 48 hours after we completely charged the battery, the vehicle started fine. We assembled the battery. The 12 volt battery is also fully charged. Everything is clean in here inside the cabin. Okay, so I hooked up my scan tool. The vehicle can actually drive, although it's not in ready mode at the moment. But we're having a one, I'm not gonna say, I was gonna say wonderful, but let's call it an interesting case. So I am doing the request for the vehicle to start, and the vehicle's not starting. Okay, now what's going on here is that I press the start button with my scan tool. I'm monitoring that the request to idle the engine, and it's on, it's happening, and suddenly I start to hear the electric motor spinning. But the electric motor spinning, but nothing happening. So apparently we have a mechanical issue in this vehicle. Of course, the electric motor, wait a minute, the electric motor is spinning and it's not turning the crankshaft in order to start the vehicle. What is going on? So this case is going to be way much longer than we expected, because we are gonna have to take down this transmission. So this case is gonna take us more time, and well, I gotta do what I gotta do. So we will continue, and I'll keep you guys posted with everything. All right, let's continue. All right guys, so after checking out all the technical information of this Nissan X-Trail Hybrid, there's absolutely nothing we can do. We have a mechanical issue between the electric motor and the internal combustion engine. So all the information that we could find out is that it uses a multi-dry disc clutch assembly inside the electric motor, between the engine and the electric motor, of course, and the transmission. So because of that, we are gonna have to take out the transmission, yes or yes. So at the moment, this transmission is going down, all right? So keep it up and we will continue. I'll be showing you what, step by step, all right? Okay, so obviously if we want to take out the transmission, we already removed everything that has to be related with the intake air filtering. We have the transmission over there, but well, we have to take out this fuse box, we have to take out the whole inverter, and then we can access everything related to the transmission on the top before we lift the vehicle and take out the subframe to deal with the bottom. So we will continue. We still have a long way to go. Stay tuned. All right guys, so after 6 hours, a finger cut, a lot of dirt, the internal combustion engine and the transmission are out. Holy cow, this vehicle looks like the Europeans. Right, so we still have a long way to go anyway. Gotta disconnect it from the internal combustion engine and check what's going on with that that electric motor. So we will continue then. Yeah, it was a long walk, so I had to resume. All right, so look at the first thing that I found over here. All this metal debris inside the transmission span, and I found out that it coming from the differential. Okay, that's it. That's cool. All right. I took apart the housing just to clean it up. There's the electric motor because I thought the problem was coming from the electric motor. Now, however, this vehicle the problem it's giving me is that I don't have any mechanical connection between the electric motor and the internal combustion engine. So because of that, the vehicle's not charging. All right, so I took out all the clutch assemblies to check all the discs. Everything fine, so far so good. Well, let me show you the problem. The problem is this gentleman right here, the main input shaft, which this is the one who connects to the internal combustion engine, and this is the one who connects to the clutch assembly in the electric motor. And look at what's happened. Has complete seize out. What do you know? So I'm gonna have to replace that differential. I'm gonna have to replace this input shaft and assemble back this transmission from the Nissan X-Trail hybrid. So I didn't want to make a tutorial video because, well, actually this channel is not about transmission. Alright, so I just wanted to share with you that because there could be a problem that might happen to you once. I don't know. Who knows that? But at least you know what's going on here. But one of the things I know for sure that clutch assembly inside the electric motor, it gives trouble in time. However, in this is not the case. Okay, so thank you for watching. I'll be sharing more good, interesting cases. See you then. Hey, so it took me a few days working on this vehicle. So after we took up the battery, fully serviced it, recharged it, and then we started the vehicle and we found out that the problem was the battery was totally fine, just simply was drained. We got into the electric motor inside the transmission, which was giving us trouble with the clutch assembly, the input shaft, and a huge work that I had to do to this transmission. It's time to start this vehicle finally. So let's see what we got here. All right, just give me a moment. All right, let's see what you got. Okay, so we are now in, well, this Nissan doesn't show ready mode as, for example, Toyota, but it's showing us this little green light showing you that the vehicle's ready to start, and the vehicle's finally starting and charging the high voltage battery. So in conclusion, Nissan X-Trail hybrids, those are amazing vehicles, but definitely in time these clutch assembly, this electric motor has a mechanical clutch assembly with this type of input shaft. that apparently is a very common issue in this vehicle. Now, I didn't do a tutorial in depth video about the transmission in this vehicle. However, it's probably that we're getting a new case with another extra, exactly the same problem. So definitely, if it comes, I'll promise I'll make a video about the transmission. I will show you everything a little more in depth. Okay, so we can say that this vehicle is a fix. It took me a little more than a week working on the vehicle. It was a nice experience. The vehicle's driving just fine right now. I'm just gonna clean it and prepare to deliver to the customer. But so far so good. So I hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Don't forget, like and subscribe and follow the channel. All right, so I'll see you guys in the next episode of Hybrid Solution Diagnostic. Have a great time. I'll see you then. Bye bye. So it is a beautiful rainy day here in the Caribbean. So guess what? We're driving the X-Trail. She just took off like probably 15 minutes ago. Vehicle already warm up, and we are I'm sorry, after I do this type of big jobs, I usually keep the vehicle for a couple of days. Drive them, make sure I don't have any codes, make sure the vehicle driving properly, because remember, this is a very big job, so whatever is going to happen, I prefer to happen to me first instead of the customer. Actually, that's how it's supposed to be. But for now, this vehicle is doing great. We're gonna do a couple of more road tests, and then tomorrow again warm up the vehicle a little bit more. But the only thing is that well, as I told you guys, that this is not a channel about transmission, but however, this transmission is related to definitely the hybrid system, because of the clutch and then of course that input shaft that belongs inside the electric motor. So I got some good news, guys. Our next vehicle is coming with exactly the same issue, apparently. So this vehicle will probably be coming by next week. So I promise I'm going to make an in-depth video about this transmission, and you will love it, especially for technicians, because usually these vehicles are not so commercial, and it's a little difficult to find the internet information. So what do you say if we do an in-depth video about this transmission? So next episode. So I'll see you guys next, and thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hybrid Solution Diagnostic is a channel made for you. All right, I'm pretty sure you guys are enjoying our information. So I'll see you guys next episode. Bye bye.